everyone. And you are officially live. Go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? Here we are back for another episode of Diamond Talk. Been a couple of days, fun football weekend. Man, NFL is just crazy. I don't want to hear anybody talk about bad beats in baseball, and you can never trust anything. I mean, you just saw NFL Sunday. I mean, we had a good weekend it's up and down and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, crazy thing happens in every sport. So don't just pigeonhole yourself to thinking it only happens in baseball when you lose a big money line favorite bet. Um, especially talking to like Raiders betters or Rams betters. But anywho, it is baseball. We got a short slate today, but we actually have some pretty decent games, some fun little things to talk about, little scenarios and whatnot. So we'll just hop into it really quickly. First things first, Twins and Guardians. Twins actually got a win yesterday with Joe Ryan on the mound, which actually makes me love like this play even more. 2 plays in the game. Definitely all over the Guardians on the money line at minus 115 for 0.75 units. Also playing the under 7 in this game for another 0.75 units as well. Both of these bullpens are actually rested. I know that it's going to be kind of weird, but they all look pretty well, especially Cleveland's. And the reason mentioning that because of the under, not a lot of guys went for Cleveland yesterday, so all the top guys are good. But this bet, first and foremost, is on Cal Quantrill. This guy just continues to win bets for us. He hasn't lost a decision now in over his last 7 starts. He's 12-5 on the year, so the consistency is there. Continues to pitch well. Just saw this Minnesota team not his last time out, but two starts ago. Went 5 solid innings in Minnesota. Gave up 9 hits, but only 1 run, struck out 7, so he was able to get out of some jams. At home, he pitches even better. He has his 2 starts against Minnesota this year, both solid. They did get some hits on him, but again, he's winning. Cleveland's winning games. They haven't been the juggernaut. The Twins haven't been the juggernaut that they were for us last week. Obviously, like I said, they've lost 3 or 4 now to Cleveland. They lost 3 straight before that Guardian series. And this Cleveland team's rolling, man. 8-2 their last 10, 12-8 their last 20. We got a home team on a short getaway day with one of their, I would call him one of their aces. I mean, I have no problem saying that the way that he's pitched all year. So I got to continue to ride Cleveland here. The more wins that they get, the closer or the farther out that Minnesota ever has a chance. I haven't looked at the standings today, but they could lose this. If Minnesota loses this one, they could be really done. So I think Cleveland steps on their throat today and puts them out of their misery. Next game up is the Mariners and the Angels. And if there's 2 teams that in the last week and a half or so that have cost me more money than anybody else, it's the Seattle Mariners and the New York Mets. I'm on them both today. Mariners money line minus 110 now. It came all the way down. Give me my Mariners money line minus 110 for a full unit. Don't give a damn that the Mariners have lost 3 games in a row. I actually love that more. Logan Gilbert is an absolute stud, and you have to be recognizing this. 12-6 on the year, but look at his last 3 starts. Against San Diego, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Against the White Sox, 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs. Against the Tigers, another 6 innings, no runs. I mean, 6 of his last 6 starts, he's gave up 3 runs once. He's lost 1 start in his last 5 against LA. Jose Suarez was actually pitching pretty decent for them at one point this year, but that's really gone out the window. In 4 of his last 5 starts, he's given up 2 runs or more, 3 runs or more in 3 of those. He just really hasn't looked good. It's really starting to come down. Cleveland and Detroit and the Yankees weren't even hitting at that time. So I don't know if we're going to get Julio in the lineup yet. I don't think that it's been. I checked the lineups right before we came on this show. I'll check them again really quickly. I don't think that we're going to see it. I'm assuming that we don't get Julio. I capped this game assuming that we're not going to get Julio Rodriguez in the lineup. So just don't worry about that when you see the lineups posted and there's no Julio. Haniger should be back. There's still no lineups for this. So Haniger should be back. The Mariners are a decent enough team. All their bullpen arms were fresh. They didn't use them yesterday. or at least the ones that I worry about. So I'll take Mariners to finally get a win here against the Angels and avoid the sweep. Next game up, we've got the Cubs and the, or sorry, no, we got the Astros and the Rays, or Cubs and Marlins works too. It's all the same time. Cubs and Marlins. We got our guy Edward Cabrera on the mound, man. It's minus 140, but I'm going to take it. Marlins money line minus 140. And then Marlins first 5 on the run line at minus, or first 5 minus 0.5. At plus 105 for a half a unit. So that was choppy, so I'll say it again. Miami money line minus 140 for 0.75 units. Miami first 5 minus 0.5 at plus 105 for a half a unit. This is our boy Cabrera, man. This dude is just an absolute stud. I love betting on him. He's faced a couple teams like the Dodgers and whatnot. I'm pulling up his numbers right now. But you got to remember, there was a 5-start time where he didn't even give up a run. Okay, so his last 3 starts: Phillies, Mets, Braves, Dodgers. Like absolute murderers row. 5 1/3 against the Phillies, 2 runs. 5 2/3 against the Mets, 3 runs. 5 innings against the mighty Atlanta Braves in Truist Park. Only gave up 1 run. He got lit up by the Dodgers, but it's the Dodgers, man. Everybody gets lit up by the Dodgers. And then Oakland, Padres, Phillies. None of them scored a run in the previous 3 starts before that. Cabrera's been dealing. I will say that Miley hasn't pitched well, or hasn't pitched bad at all. He's actually looked pretty decent for the Cubs. He hasn't had a lot of starts this year. I think it's only been 4 or 5. Yeah. And he's only gone 3 innings pitched against the Yankees and 4 against the Reds. So don't really know how long he's going to go. Miami hasn't played horrible the last couple of days. They were able to score some runs against the Phillies and get a win there. And they looked pretty decent against Washington. I know they lost 2 games because of the bullpen, but like I said, I think Cabrera throws pretty well today. Miami was just on a short road trip to Washington. So if you say, like, oh, they're coming home from a road trip, it was only 3 days. So I take the fish at home with a pretty, like a stud on the mound. Next game up, Astros and the Rays. This is another one. I think the books are doing exactly what they want. The public is doing exactly what the books want them to do. They're seeing the Astros as a dog, and they're jumping all over them. And I couldn't disagree more. I absolutely love the Rays here today. I'm on the Rays money line, minus 120 for a full unit. There's no question about it. Look, I love rockabye baby Luis Garcia, but just take a look at his game logs. Like, he's not pitching well right now. I mean, they're winning games because he has the Astros bats behind him, but we'll talk about that in a second. But let's just isolate Garcia really quickly. His last time out, 5 innings against the Angels, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs. They won. The start before that against the Angels, he pitched pretty well. He went 7 innings, only gave up a run. But 3 runs to the Twins, 3 runs to the White Sox, 4 runs to Oakland, 4 runs to the Guardians, 3 runs to Boston. He's only going 4, 5, 6 innings. And then, oh, by the way, these teams don't play each other a lot. But last year, these teams played. Garcia played the Rays at home. He went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 6 runs. Just didn't really look good. Flip it over to the other side, and Rasmussen, if you follow me, we pretty much bet this guy as much as we possibly can. This dude's an absolute stud. And the fact that we're getting him off of a pretty, I guess, subpar performance up in Toronto, where he went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. Look, this was, he had his baby. He had a start in New York, and then he had a start in Toronto. So maybe just all that baby stuff caught up to him. Now he's back at home, where he's just been absolutely lights out. His last couple starts at home against the Angels, the Royals, and Baltimore, over 18 innings, only 4 runs, tons of strikeouts, almost like 27 strikeouts or something like that. Just crazy numbers, not walking guys at all. The Rays are in the thick of a playoff race. I mean, they need as many wins as they can. And the Astros, I mean, I'm not trying to say that they don't care about this game, but winning or losing this game means nothing to them. They have the AL West wrapped up. They have everything they needed wrapped up. So I think that we have a cheap price on the Rays. Also, don't really like the spot for the Astros. After playing Oakland and stuff like that, like I'm just not really there. The Rays, 13-7 their last 20, only 4-6 their last 10. But if you take a look at who they've played, they were on the road against the Yankees and the Blue Jays. That's two divisional opponents back to back. They've been home now. They played a couple games against Texas. They lost that first one. Cash it. And then they won the next two. So they're playing well right now. I'm all over the Rays today. Orioles and the Tigers. I was up all night capping this game. No, that's an exaggeration, but I'm dead serious when I said I went back and forth. I wrote up Orioles run line, erased it, and then wrote up a bet for the Tigers. I'm only going to play the Tigers team total. I'm going to double check right now. It was 2.5 last night at 130. It's came down. I think it's came down a little bit. So I'm going to double check just so I don't give you guys a crap number because I hate when people give those out. Team total, all that bumped to 3.5. Damn. All right, guys. So I guess I was leaning here. I'm just going to go through it. Why do I like Detroit so much right now? It was 2.5, like minus 130. It's at 3.5 now at plus 100. I don't like that. Maybe the first 5 team total. Let me see if it's at 1.5. Maybe 1.5 at minus 110. Why do I like Detroit so much? Over 1.5 at minus 110 for half a unit. VIPs, check this out. I'm going to find something in this game. I will find something in this game. It switched during the live, but look. Why do I like Detroit so much? Over the last month, guess who the number 2 team in Major League Baseball is against hitting on the road is? It's the Detroit Tigers. And then just take a look. I wrote them down. Here's the numbers on the year for Baltimore against left-handed pitching. On the year, Baltimore's 26th against left-handed pitching at home. And in the last 30 days, Baltimore's 28th versus just left-handed pitching in general. So this idea that Baltimore is going to come up there and destroy them, I just don't really know if I can get behind that. I trust me, guys, I would love to play Baltimore. Also, Baltimore plays decently coming home from road trips. I even went and checked that out. A lot of decent wins coming home from road trips. It's a hard handicap. I cannot lay minus 195 with Tyler Wells on the mound. I know that he's looked pretty good his last couple starts. At Washington, he went 4 innings, but then the one in Toronto, he only went 2 innings. Before that, there were some 4s and 5 spots, a couple 3s. So Tyler Wells isn't a guy that I'm looking to lay minus 200 with. And then, like I said, I don't really like the spot for Baltimore. Played a couple games on the road in Washington, and then they went up and played 4 or 3 games against Toronto. And now coming home with no rest. Again, Detroit's played an extra inning game 2 of the last 3 games too, so they're not great. But the bats on the road for Detroit are smashing right now. And if you go back to 40 days, they're like 8th. You go back 50 days, they're 9th. So it's like a fallacy that Detroit doesn't play well on the road. It's almost like they haven't been playing well at home the last month or so, if not more. So VIPs, check the ticket when I post it for maybe some more plays. But yeah, damn, I wish I was still 2.5 because that was a steal. But anyway, next game up, Braves and Nats. Don't know if I can really lay it with the Braves here today. Thinking about a Washington team total as well, same type of situation. Washington team total over 2.5 at minus 120 for 0.75 units. Look, Washington's scoring runs right now. They've had 3 runs or more in 9 of their last 10 games. And then if you take a look at the games that they've played against Atlanta, I think they've scored 3 runs in 9 of their last 10 or something, 8 of their last 10 against Atlanta as well. And then Kyle Wright pitched pretty well, but this is going to be has been pitching pretty well, but this is the 3rd time that Washington has seen him. And if you guys have been following Major League Baseball, I mean, you know that Washington's been a killer of a couple minus 300 favorites. I'm not going to go out on a limb and try to say that they're going to beat the Braves because the last 2 days I've bet against the Braves with the Phillies at big plus prices, and they've killed me in the 7th and 8th innings. So I'm not going to take that bet, but I definitely not laying this price with them. Maybe look live, but yeah, Washington team total for me is only the only place I can go here. These teams just tend to play overs. If you wanted to play over, maybe I could get there too, but at 2.5, I just think that the easy money is Washington. I honestly think we cash this in the 5th or 6th inning. Like I said, these two teams, every time that these two teams play, they score runs. 11-2, 16-4, 3-1, 9-5, 10-4, 8-2, 12-3. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, yeah, all over Washington team total at a cheap price. Mets, Brewers. Game of the day, right? This is absolutely the game of the day. No question about it. I'm on the Mets, dude. Are you kidding me? Give me the Mets money line for a full unit, minus 105 now. You can get it at plus 100 for some books. It doesn't matter. The Mets win in this game. Mets clinch a playoff spot with the win here today. Going up against Corbin Burns. Is Corbin Burns pitching well right now? No. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Spade is spade, right? 7 innings against or 7 innings in a loss, mind you, a loss against St. Louis. Gave up 3 runs. Looked good against the Giants. Who doesn't? At Arizona, 5 2/3, 5 runs. At Pittsburgh, 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. The Dodgers lit him up. The Dodgers, he looked decent against the Dodgers. He looked decent against St. Louis. He's not pitching well. Mad Max on the mound for the Mets. And I don't really care if he's looked fantastic his last couple starts against Washington, Colorado, 12 innings, 2 runs, 16 strikeouts, 2 walks. I don't care what his numbers are. We're getting that crazy SOB Max Scherzer on the mound with the Mets with a chance to clinch a playoff spot against a Brewers team that I don't trust farther than I can save my life. Everybody, all the bullpens for both teams are fine. I don't really care. Mets clinch a playoff spot today. Also, really quickly, the Brewers might have been scoring some runs against the Yankees, but they also gave up a crap ton of runs themselves. Let's go, Mets. Come on. Let's do this. Next game up, Giants, Rockies. Not the easiest game to cap. Just because the Giants, I guess, haven't looked horrible. I understand that they lost to the Dodgers and whatnot, but they played that. Just anytime that I watch a Dodgers game, you got to assume that team's going to lose by 2 runs. So anytime if they give them the Dodgers trouble, I mean, I give them a little bit of credit. But anyway, so before people say, "Oh, they're not playing well, they're losing games," it's just how I generally look at it. But what's the rule? Simple. Teams that play on Sunday Night Baseball have to travel. Fade that shit. So we got that. We got a Giants team that I'm not laying juice with in the first place. That's that. And then we got the Rockies the Rockies are playing good right now. 7-3 their last 10. We get them as a home dog. Yeah, Rockies money line for 0.75 units at plus 106. Rockies have seen the Rockies just saw Junis not too long ago on 821. He went 6 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. Nothing special. It was a no decision. But Chad Kuhl hasn't looked great and doesn't have like fantastic numbers against the Giants. But they haven't seen him this year since May. So maybe that's just a little bit of an advantage for Kuhl. But either way, I'm not laying juice with the Sunday Night Baseball team that had to travel. And I'm not laying a juice with any team named the San Francisco Giants, unless that's like Rondon on the mound against somebody that's just god awful. But it would take a lot for me to lay him with the Giants. So next game up, Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. I guess Dodgers minus 1.5, guys. I honestly haven't capped this game because it wasn't on the sheet before this. And then I woke up this morning and I forgot that it was on the list. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But it's Kershaw on the mound at home. The Dodgers did just play Sunday Night Baseball. It's minus 1.5 or minus 125 sauce for 0.75 units. I'm not going to be playing the Diamondbacks. I can just tell you guys right now. Yeah, again, guys, if you do play the Diamondbacks, money line, don't take that 1.5, especially what happened last night. But like I said, I just as much as I would love to bet Merrill Kelly with as a big plus favorite, as a big plus money underdog, he just doesn't have very good numbers against the Dodgers. So just Dodgers -1.5. Nothing crazy though, because they did play Sunday Night Baseball, and the Snakes have been sneaky good. But I think the Snakes are probably they're going to be fighting for their lives. I mean, that's a series this weekend against the Padres. I'm kind of kicking myself for not making a bigger bet on the Padres, but I don't have a good history betting the Padres the last 2 years, so that held me off. But Bob Melvin called the Padres out 2 days ago in the media, and they responded very well. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's it for me today. VIP has already been posted for the 2 early games. I have everything done except for the parlays and the props for the afternoon slate. So I was going to give that a little bit of time for some lineups to drop before I post that. No props for the early game, but I will give you guys one hit parlay. Stephen Kwan and Jimenez, former Met, both to get ahead at +115. That's in that Cleveland game. Both of them have really good numbers against Sonny Gray. So tomorrow we will be back at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we'll have 4 p.m. Eastern show the 20th, 21st, and 20th and 21st. And then on 22nd, we'll back at noon Eastern. So like I said, VIPs will be out. Sauce will have VIP picks for the Monday Night Football game out in a couple hours, I'm sure, as well. Check Beaver's social. You never know when he's going to drop tweets and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it for me today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, Monday Night Football VIP stuff will be up in about, give me like 2.5 hours, because I know where I'm going in one game, and I think I know where I'm going in the other game. I just want to do a little more work on it. So we could be about around 3 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be up. Everyone have a good day.